Nubra, yar, what can I say? This place is a cold desert, but still managed to warm our hearts. The homestay felt like our own home, and the ghar ka khana was exactly what our soul needed after all the Ladakhi madness. And yes, Dadi ji ka alvida, that sweet smile of her, warm. फिर मिलेंगे बेटा. Oof, emotional damage detected. But Ladakh doesn't give you much time to feel things. Because as soon as you pack your bags, tighten your saddle straps, boom, it throws you into another adventure. We get up and rolled out of Nubra like desert warriors, heading for the majestic Pangong Tso Lake. The road narrow, lined with tall trees like soldiers. The breeze cold and crisp. And the mood full throttle, baby. The road from Nubra to Diskit, which usually feels like a warm-up lap, had turned into an off-road battle zone. There was dust cloud everywhere because of the military movement as well. And you know, it's serious when even you start praying for your suspensions and the tires. The bikes were dancing left and right, luggage was swaying, and everyone's expression turned from "Yeah, what a morning" to "Sambhal ke ride karna." But the beauty of this stretch is it throws discomfort and magic at you all together. On one side, you're holding tight to your handlebars. On the other, snow-dusted peaks and the camels chilling in the cold desert. And the locals unbothered, just walking past all the rubble like it was a red carpet. Finally, we reached the petrol pump. 5 साल पहले ये जो पेट्रोल पंप है ना, इतना मॉडर्न नहीं था. कोई डिजिटल मीटर नहीं था, कोई मशीन नहीं था. भाई लिटरली पेट्रोल हाथ से भरते थे. अ हैंड पंप सेटअप, बस एक पाइप और लीवर एंड एक लद्दाखी भैया विद बाइसेप्स स्ट्रॉन्गर देन आवर बाइक्स. एंड नाउ टैप टैप गूगल पे. पेट्रोल भर गया, पैसे ट्रांसफ़र एंड रिसीव व्हाट्सएप पे आ गया. लद्दाख ने सिर्फ हमें नहीं बदला, ये पेट्रोल पंप्स भी 2G से 5G हो गए हैं. नेक्स्ट टाइम समवन सेज लद्दाख इज रिमोट, शो देम अ सेल्फी विद द गूगल पे QR. The regular road was closed and we had to take a longer detour which promised suspense, struggle and sasta rally experience. The road started sweet, smooth, clean. Arey wah. But Ladakh had other plans. Poof, sand, loose, slippery sand. Riders started struggling. Motorcycles dancing left, right, like they were auditioning for Najbaliye. And the off-road saga began. Our rider started wobbling. Mayuri, holding a line like a pro, slowly tackled the stretch while holding back the taxis and fellow riders. She was the sand queen, unbothered and focused. And the best part, everyone, riders, drivers, even the tourists and the tempo travelers cheered and understood the pain. This is what Ladakh does. Turn strangers into squad. The regular road was closed and we had to take a longer detour which promised suspense, thriller and sasta rally experience. The road started sweet, smooth, clean. Arey wah. But Ladakh had another plans. Poof, sand, loose, slippery sand. Riders started struggling. Motorcycles dancing from left to right like they were auditioning for Najbaliye. And the off-road saga begins. Our riders started wobbling. Mayuri, holding her line like a pro, slowly tackled the stretch while holding back the taxis and the fellow bikers. She was the sand queen, unbothered and focused. And the best part, everyone, riders, drivers, even the tourists, cheered and understood the pain. This is what Ladakh does. Turns strangers into a squad. And that's when it happened. Almost as if nature had been holding its breath. The silence broke and suddenly, like a floodgate had opened. Vroom. A taxi driver who was stuck behind, watching the whole scene, suddenly gunned it. Full speed into the same pitch. Full speed into the same patch. Maybe inspired, maybe just jealous. Who knows? But he flew in, kicking in sand like a scene out of Mad Max. And right behind him, bikers, dozens, then more, and then more. In less than 30 seconds, the entire stretch turned into a full-on motorcycling stampede. 50 plus bikers, throttle open, trying to recreate what Mayuri just pulled off. Some making it, some sliding, some yelling, "Bhai Sambhal," some laughing, some cursing Ladakh's terrain, some cruising, some cursing their decision to not to skip breakfast. But here's the beauty. The single moment when one rider's courage gave confidence to 100 more. That's the spirit of the ride. That's why we do Ladakh. Not just for landscapes, but for the moments like these, where one silent wind leads to a chorus of throttle, dust and joy. And that moment will be remembered, not just in our footage, but in every biker story who was there. So the next time someone asks why we do these tough terrains through sand, stone and snow, show them this. And say, because it's not just a ride, it's a ripple effect of courage. I tried to stay calm. I really did. But the moment I saw so many bikers crowding the trail, my patience hit the reserve mode. Throttle khola, brain shut. I ripped past everyone like a missile with a GoPro. Because in Ladakh, sometimes you don't wait for the moment. You become the moment. There was no point in waiting. The terrain ahead wasn't going to get easier. No shade, no chai stall, no drama. Just raw road and us. So we rushed. No regroup, no break. Just a quick chalo 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 from me, and I literally started pushing everyone forward like a shepherd herding metal goats. The trail opened up into what looked like a half-paved runway, and for a moment we all smiled thinking, "Wow, kya straight road hai." But Ladakh had its jokes, because this was not a tarmac ribbon from your dreams. It was more like a massage chair with anger issues. Rubble all over the road, like someone emptied a truck full of pebbles and said, "Ye le, ab maze utha." You ride slow and the vibrations go straight from your seat to your soul. Your bones rattle, your GoPro vibrates out the rhythm, and your back begs for mercy. So I did what I always do. Throttle khula, game on. Grabbed those handlebars tight, locked my eyes where I wanted to go, and let my Royal Enfield Himalayan fly like a desert hawk. Riding with George on his Tramp 900 was an absolute blast. That machine was a beast, stable, smooth and unshakable, no matter what terrain we threw at it. While we were dancing on the pebbles, George was gliding like a boss. No drama, no shake, just pure class on two wheels. There's a strange science in off-roading, where your vision leads, your bike follows. So the rule is simple: don't look at the rock, look beyond it. And guess what? I overtook everyone one by one. Riders have known for years, some riding better than ever. But that cruise inside me kicked in. Because the moment I see an off-road, I just can't ride slow. It's like the terrain starts talking to me. Come on, Saral. Now, show me what you have got. No mercy, just rhythm. That pure mechanical dance of man and machine. The roar of my exhaust echoed through the valley. My tires throwing dust behind me like I was erasing the road from those behind. A few kilometers, it was just me, the wind, and the maddening stretch. But then I slowed down. Not because I was tired, not because the road demanded it, but because something inside me said, look back. And I did. One by one, they passed me, some smiling, some focused, some probably abusing the rock, and some giving tali. And I just stood there like a proud parent at school race, watching the batch move ahead. From the fastest at the front, I became the sweep at the back, the shepherd again, guiding from the rear, making sure no one's left behind. And you know what? That's where real leadership lives. Not in rushing to the top, but in making sure everyone makes it to the end. Because Ladakh doesn't test your riding, it tests your teamwork, patience, and heart. It humbles you, reminds you that even in the wildest off-roads, riding alone fast is easy, but riding together safely, and now that's a challenge. And then boom, out of nowhere, like magic from the mountains, a super sexy stretch of tarmac appeared. We couldn't believe it. Smooth, black, freshly laid road. But just when we started to fall in love with the tarmac, it ended with a twist. Literally. The smooth ribbon of road dived straight into the Shyok River zone. And there was a water crossing. Bikes lined up like students at school race, all watching the water closely, figuring out the best line. It wasn't deep, just one of those cheeky ones Ladakh throws at you to remind you, don't get too comfortable, bro. I decided to wait, I always do, until my gang caught up. Once they arrived, we crossed it together. No drama, no drops. Just steady throttle and smooth sailing.
देख गीला हुआ के देख कुछ भी गीला नहीं हुआ ऑसम जॉब अंदर दबाओ
And just like that, regroup done,
Good.
we were back in motion. But Ladakh was in the mood for games today because no sooner did we enjoy another short heavenly tarmac stretch, it vanished into the thin air like it was a limited offer time. Suddenly, rubble, stones, off-road, back to the reality show. And honestly, we were used to this now. It became a bit of a joke. Every time we saw a good road, we'd look at each other and say, let's enjoy this while it lasts. And that's the rhythm of the ride. A constant on-off-road game between heaven and havoc. And what's this now? Not for the faint-hearted, I swear. A narrow cliff, so tight that even a single SUV felt like it was squeezing through the crack in the mountains. On the right hand side, loose soil and those towering rocky cliffs just staring down on us, as if saying one wrong move and you're mine. And on the left, a straight drop into the roaring river below. No railing, no mercy, just you, your handlebar and your nerves. To add a spice, traffic jam, a proper Ladakhi standoff, SUV from both sides, No one ready to reverse, bikers stuck in between, and me wondering if I should ride or just meditate till it's over. Thank God the madness got over faster than I expected. The cliffside traffic chaos done, dusted behind us. And then, like a reward from the mountain gods, tarmac again, smooth, narrow roads that look like they were painted just for you. And hey, this wasn't any expressway. These were the classic Ladakhi mountain roads, twists, turns, blind curves, and the kind of scenery that makes you forget to blink. Shifted down to lower gear, and that's when the fun really begins. Every lean into a corner, every curve felt like a perfect dance move. No music, no distractions, just the thump of the engine, the wind cutting across my helmet, and the rhythm of the road. The kind of ride where your mind goes blank and all that exists is you and the next turn. It's crazy how peaceful adrenaline can feel. Honestly, I was loving every bit of it. The weight of the past miles just disappeared, and this stretch was pure riding therapy. And that, my friends, is the magic of Ladakh. She'll push you to the edge and then pull you back in with a gentle lean. And now, guess what? Sand and a small river crossing. But honestly, by this time, after all we'd been through, these obstacles didn't feel like obstacles anymore. They felt like a part of the ride, like a mandatory checkpoint in a video game you know by heart. Subodhan, cool as ever, was just gliding through the rivulet. No drama, no foot down, just smooth throttle and perfect balance. The way he rode it, it looked more like a Sunday cruise than an off road challenge. And the rest of us, we followed smilingly inside our helmets, knowing we've grown into this terrain, built by the ride, one bump at a time. I was always at the back, not because I was slow, but because I never left anyone behind. Camera in one hand. Okay, not literally. The GoPro is mounted on the helmet. Throttle in another hand. Eyes always scanning. I became the unofficial sweep, the riding cameraman, the helping hand. Because out there, you never know when someone bike might stall, lose balance, or need a small push. Alert mode was always on. But let me tell you something. Ladakh teaches you everything. It's a full curriculum from first standard to 10th in just one circuit. Basics of balance, advanced patience, physics of momentum, and most importantly, the emotional science of group riding. We were all together, the group riding in formation, almost like a convoy. And just by looking at us, those dozens of riders back to back lined up against the vast mountain canvas, you could feel the strength in numbers. It wasn't just a ride anymore, it was a moving bond. And I was proud to capture it, live it, and protect it from the back, like a shepherd guarding his tribe. As we continued our ride through the ever changing terrains of Ladakh, we came across small river crossings. Now, usually, this is where things get interesting because water crossings are always unpredictable. One wrong angle, one loose rock under your tire, and down you go. But not today. The team was on fire. Every rider had synced into the rhythm of the ride. It felt like machines had become an extension of our bodies. No one panicked, no one hesitated. The throttle control, the balance, the timing, it was flawless. I had taken the lead just a little ahead and kept looking back now and then to watch the group as they approached the crossings. And what I saw, honestly, gave me goosebumps. Rider after rider glided through the waters, No sudden jerks, no awkward stops, no skids, no slides. Just calm, composed, confident riding. It was like watching a team of pros, each one making their own line but following through like they've done it 100 times before. Some slowed down slightly to check the depth, some stood on the pegs for balance, but every single one of them made it across without a single hiccup. And me, I felt like a proud team leader and a silent cameraman, just witnessing the power of learning, coordination, and growth on this journey. This was more than just a crossing, it was a silent reminder that we had come a long way. From the unsure throttles on a day one to this level of smooth execution. I smiled inside my helmet. This is what Ladakh does to you. It teaches, it challenges, and eventually it transforms. And today, this group had leveled up. Luckily, we left early. The snow hadn't melted yet. The rivers weren't angry, not running to their full capacity. Everything looked calm, manageable. But then, that's when it hit me. A wave of memory straight from 2016. 8 years ago, same place, a very different story. Back then, snowfall was thick, rivers were wild, and off roads stomach full, bone rattling, pure adventure. The Shyok River wasn't just flowing, it was overflowing. Left, right, both sides of the road, water was everywhere. No clear line, no dry path. It was chaos, the real Ladakh kind. The JCB was fighting a losing battle, trying to divert the river downhill. But nature wasn't having it. And in the middle of all this, there he was, Shivaji Ghosh, on his modified GT 535, struggling to gain traction on the slippery incline. His tires spun, water splashed, and we had to jump into rescue mode, lifting, pushing, cheering. It wasn't a ride that day, it was a survival mission. Ladakh made sure we earned every kilometer. But 2024, different story. This time we were prepared and nature was kind. The rivers weren't roaring, just quietly flowing. Still, Mayuri got stuck on a hidden rock during a small water crossing. For a second, she paused, but that's all it took. One gentle push, and she was back in the motion, riding out like a pro. The rest of the crew followed each other successfully, making it out one after another. No panic, no drama, just growth, confidence, and team spirit. From rescue missions in 2016 to smooth execution in 2024, this journey isn't about Ladakh changing, it's all about us changing with it.
पीछे लो ना पीछे से ऐसे
As we gradually crossed Shyok village, something magical began to unfold. The riverbed road, rough and raw just moments ago, now started to twist and rise, leading up us to the valley. Slowly but surely, our motorcycles climbed higher, leaving the gushing river below. The altitude changed, the views expanded, and it felt like we were being lifted into a postcard. Looking back, we could see the path we had conquered, a trail carved besides the river, hugged by the mountains on both sides. Every corner on this route was like a painting coming to life. New angle, new drama, new emotion. But nothing, I mean nothing, could prepare us for what was about to hit. This final stretch was madness wrapped in magic. From the top of the mountain, we dropped right down to the riverbed in just four corners. Four corners, that's it. The incline, insane. The turns, tight enough to make your heart skip a beat. And even in the first gear, the bike was rolling like it had a mind of its own. But I've done this 15 years, 15 years of Ladakh. This wasn't the moment to play it safe. This was the moment to rip it. I leaned in, throttle open, ripping at 50 plus kmph on the steep downhills. My heart was racing, my nerves were dancing, and my smile uncontrollable. It was pure biker's joy. But here's a word of caution, and I mean it with all my heart. Please don't try this without the best riding gears and well-maintained tires. Ladakh may look like a dream, but it also brutal and unforgiving. One mistake, one slip, and things can go from normal to wrong. Before you ride here, make sure you've practiced enough. Ride tough trails near your city. Test yourself, test your bike. Because Ladakh is not where you learn, it's where you apply everything you've learned. Respect the mountains, ride preparedness, and always choose safety over speed. Only then will Ladakh welcome you and let you go back with a smile. As I slowed down, the team had regrouped at the base. And what a place to stop. Imagine this. You're in a valley so wide, the mountains rise like guardians around you, and the river hums below like a track straight from A.R. Rahman's studio. Not a noise, but a melody. It felt like we were in the mother's nature's cradle, and she was rocking us gently, reminding us why we ride in the first place. We were tired, energy levels drained. The day had been long, off-roading and we were tired, energy levels drained. The day had been long. Off-roading had taken its toll, and even my action camera batteries were crying for mercy. But I didn't want it to charge them on those inverters you usually find at Pangong Tso. Because trust me, proper electricity there is just like a guest, comes late and leaves early. So after refueling ourselves at Dubruk with a warm plate of food and chai, we did the only thing that kept the riders alive. We rode again. And now, it was time for my favorite road in the entire world. The stretch from Durbuk to Pangong Tso is something else, a poetic balance of thrill and serenity. You're riding alongside a river that flirts with you. Sometimes it's on your left, and then, boom, a corner later, it's suddenly on your right. It dances with you. And trust me, it knows how to make a rider fall in love. The twists and curves on this stretch are a Moto Grand Prix rider's dream. They're not scary, they're seductive. Lean in just right and you'll feel like Valentino Rossi tearing those Mugello or Marquez charging Catalonia. And me, well, I was playing my favorite game. Touch the leader and fall back, then rev forward again. Just me, my Enfield, and a road that felt like a racetrack made by angels. But this stretch wasn't just about the ride, it was the landscape that made it legendary. As we entered this zone, suddenly the color changed. Greenery popped up unexpectedly. Small bushes and trees lining the riverbank, standing tall like a royal welcome. Among them were these gorgeous trees with pinkish red flowers. No idea what they were called, but I swear they look like something right out of a Japanese anime movie, like those cherry blossom scenes in Kyoto. Except we were in the middle of Ladakh. Ladakh meets Japan. Unexpected crossover episode. And the trees? They weren't just eye candy. Some were loaded with small red fruits. Looked like wild cherries. Maybe even locals plucked them. But the way they glowed in the sun made the whole place feel enchanted. That stretch of road felt alive with color, movement, and soul. The river sparkled, the wind danced, and the mountain stood silent like guardians of the dreamscape. At one time, I slowed down just to take it all in. I didn't want it to overtake, I didn't want it to race. I just wanted to ride the moment, completely soaked in the beauty. And yet, the rider inside me couldn't resist. Throttled open, and vroom, I was gone again. We had forgotten our tiredness, forgotten our sore backs, forgotten the batteries, the gears, even the altitude, because this road was magic. The kind of magic only Ladakh knows how to serve. In just the right dose, with a touch of adrenaline, a sprinkle of cinema, and a full glass of freedom. As we were nearing Pangong Tso, the excitement in our hearts was rising with every kilometer. That unmistakable shade of blue started peeking through the mountains, and just like that, we knew the dream was about to become a reality. We reached the banks, took a deep breath, and rolled into the village to check into our hotels. Most of us were tired, physically, yes, but emotionally overflowing. But not everyone was ready to rest just yet. A daring few, Subodhan and Sudhir, with adrenaline still flowing in their veins, rode straight to the banks of Pangong Tso without wasting a second. And what they witnessed wasn't just a lake, it was art. That vast, deep, turquoise canvas, the wind gently kissing the surface, and the mountains wrapped around it like guardians of heaven. Their bikes stood at the edge, and so did they, just soaking in silence the colors, the chill, and the sheer surreal beauty of the place. As the sun dipped behind the brown peaks, casting golden shadow across the lake, we all knew no matter how far we ride, no view compares to this. Another day was over, and this one, we'll remember it for the rest of our lives.